Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography right here on Adorama TV. I'm Mark Wallace in Tactic Studio in Madrid, Spain, joined by Diana Tobar. She is one of the most spectacular models in Madrid, and I'm so happy to be working with you today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to start by creating a very simple high key setup. That is a white background with sort of a shadowless light. It can be a little bit blah when you're shooting high-key portraits, but what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of small modifications to our basic lighting setup to show you how you can really add some punch to your high-key portraits. But to begin with, we need to start with our basic lighting setup. So let's get to that right now. For our main lighting setup, we have just a large umbrella, a large white umbrella that's giving us nice soft light on Diana, and then we have to separate the light on the background. We just added a second light with a normal reflector, and that just adds light to our background. Well, let's start with our very, very basic lighting setup. This is the foundation from which we'll be working. Now, this is just a large umbrella here. This is a white umbrella. You could use a large octabox, or if you have a large 7-foot Westcott parabolic, something like that, that would work even better. You want a large, soft source of light. That's what we're starting with, and it's right above our camera, so it's right on axis. And so what that's going to do here, I'm going to first go over here and meter this light. So we only have one light at this point. So I'm going to meter this, and I've already dialed this in, and so it's metering at f9. And so Deanna, we're going to take just a very quick picture here, if I can get my remote on there. Okay, look right at me, perfect. We're going to take a shot. Okay, so you can see this looks pretty good, but because the background is falling off, so the light here is falling off because of the inverse square law, so it's sort of a dark gray. So what I want to do is I don't want to add a bunch of lights and do a bunch of crazy things, and so I'm just going to add one light with just a hard light reflector. So if we zip around here, here's our hard light reflector, and then what I'll do is I can take that light and I'll turn it on. So I can do that from my remote control, so I'll turn that on. Now I've already metered this on the background at f7, so that's not exactly the same as our key light, because I don't want that white background to be perfectly white. I want it to be a little bit on the gray side, but you can adjust that to your preference. So you can take that up to be equal to your key light. I'm keeping it key light f9, the light on my background at f7. So let me just take a second photo and we'll show you the difference. So again, Diana, look right at me. Beautiful, I love that. Take a shot. Okay, so you can see that that just adds a little bit of a punch, and because of our circular directional light, it actually creates a vignette. So we could shoot that all day. Maybe I could add a reflector under her chin, do some things like that, and we'd be okay, but I want to take it up a notch. Well, I've added a couple of things to this lighting setup, specifically 2 kicker lights, but we're going to do some other things as well. But first, let me show you how I've metered and set up these kicker lights. So remember, we have metered this key light. If I meter toward this light, I'm metering that at f9. That is exactly the same as it was before. And so what I need to do is I want these kicker lights to meter at the exact same amount. And so to do that, on my light meter, I'm going to put my lumisphere down, so I'm only getting the light from that kicker light and nothing else. So I'm going to come behind Diana here and meter with my light meter pointed to this. And when I meter that, that also meters at f9. If I meter to that light, it meters at f9. So I'm pointing my meter at the light, and so I can see exactly how much light. So I'm going to balance those kicker lights with this key light. If it metered a little bit hotter, I'd turn those down. If it metered lower, I'd turn them up. But I want them all to be metering about the same. Now this is a setup that you can adjust to your taste. So you can take those kicker lights and make them a little brighter, a little bit softer. We just want a nice little addition to the cheekbones of Diana. Now, the other thing that we want to do here is, because Diana's hair is down, these kicker lights are going to fall on the hair, and they're really going to be hair lights. That is not what I want. I want a nice highlight on her face. So Diana, if you will, could you put your hair up in a ponytail? And what that's going to do for us is it's going to allow the light from those kickers to fall on her face, not her hair, and that is going to shape her face. It's going to make a really, really big difference. And so once her hair is up, what we'll do is I will show you exactly how all these lights are set up in relation to each other, and then what we're going to do is shoot some before and after images because I think you'll agree that the kicker lights with her hair in a ponytail is the best solution. We're keeping our original high key setup, so we have this umbrella as our key light. We also have this secondary light that's going to add some light to that white background, giving us that really nice high key white look. Well, we've added these two strip lights to the side, and notice that they are on axis with our camera. So if I zip around the camera here, you can see that they are equidistant from our model. And so what we want to do is add just a touch of light to Diana's cheeks. And if we zoom in here just a little bit, you can see we have done just that. So let's take a few pictures and I'll show you exactly how this looks. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for this episode. I think you'll agree that adding a couple of kicker lights and changing the hair of your model makes a huge difference for your high-key portraits. Speaking of models, I want to thank Diana for being a spectacular model. You can follow her on Instagram at
Diana Tobar.
Perfecto, and you can see it's right here so you don't miss it. We've also added a link to her Instagram profile in the description of this video. Also, make sure you check me out on Instagram because I'm always adding behind the scenes videos of the Adorama TV shoots and extras and things like that. So make sure you follow me. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you also turn on the bell because you don't want to miss the notifications. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to Adorama TV. It's absolutely free, so do it today. Thanks again for joining us, and I will see you again next time.